All right.
Entonces, estamos con el legendario Ihsahn de Emperor y también de su proyecto Ihsahn y muchas otras cosas para lo que será el Metal Fest de Ecuador, 18 y 19 de abril en Quito. Ihsahn, how are you? How are you doing this 2024 already?
I'm doing great, and in cold Norway. It's getting a bit warmer, but we've been having like minus 20, minus 25 degrees and like
Wow.
half a meter of snow. So it's that time of year.
Oh,
But in
wow.
a good way.
Okay, well, yeah, you're like used to that weather, I imagine.
Yeah, to some, to the extent that you can get used to it. But yeah, it's I think it's really beautiful, at
Yeah,
least.
well, I love winter. I would love to be there. Here it's like 40 degrees right now, so it's terrible.
I know because winter you can always make a fire or put on more clothes, but the heat is
It's
like
impossible.
yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm a winter person, so yeah, I'm hating this summer here. This will be your first time in Ecuador, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Are you
Very, very
excited?
excited about that. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that long ago that we came to South America
Mhm.
for
I
the
know.
first time, and I mean, what an amazing experience, and just meeting. So just very humbling to come to, you know, far away to somewhere you've never been and just
Mm.
meet thousands of people who sing all the songs back to you and know the songs and everything. And of course, we've never been to Ecuador before, but if the rest of the continent is something to go by, we can't wait to get there too. And it's a huge privilege to be invited to play,
Hmm.
new countries and meet new fans. Yeah, for sure.
Well, do you know something about Ecuador?
Uh, Unfortunately, very little. I know that it's been a bit of a heated situation there
Hmm.
recently, but I hope everything is quieting down now to some extent.
Yeah, do you know something about this lineup, this magical lineup in Ecuador about this metal fest? Because you're headlining, but there's lots of really cool bands
Well,
on
that's
this.
great. No, and unfortunately, I was kind of thrown into this, with the interview rounds and everything, and I'm doing a lot of press because I'm I'm releasing a new full-length solo album
I know,
in on mid-February,
February.
and
Yeah,
hence and I'm also preparing for live shows with that. So I've been a bit in the bubble, unfortunately, but so sorry about that. I should become better prepared, but
no, it's okay. Yeah, well, but by the way, the Pilgrimage to Oblivion, it's such a cool song. So yeah, I
thank you.
I'm really looking forward for like February 16th, maybe it's the album
Yeah,
release
yeah,
date.
that's true.
Yeah, so I'm really into that. I'm looking forward for it to it. Well, it's been 2 years since your the time that you came to Latin America. Um, how it, how could you call that the experience to finally come to Latin America?
It was overwhelming, we've heard stories because of course with colleagues going there and
Mhm.
that the crowds are so
Sorry.
dedicated, and obviously I'm sure it's also a cultural thing that
Hmm.
to be very expressive, in the audience in comparison to like we've had a pleasure of going to Japan, many times, and of course there's an entirely different culture. They will politely stand there and watch the songs and then do a short applause and then next song please.
Yeah.
So it's the different cultures, but then again, yeah, well, again from experience like with Latin America but also the rest of the world, like you realize how much of like metal in general, how it's a global phenomenon,
Mhm.
you know, because all of, in spite of any kind of cultural differences that there may be, we always meet people who also grew up on Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. We kind of all refer back, so we kind of already have a lot of stuff in common, and then whatever is different becomes the bonus. and the spice, so
Yeah.
it's getting the best of both worlds, really.
Yeah, you mentioned that Japan audience, and it's like when they are when they are excited the most, it's like yeah, yeah, and that's it. And
Yeah,
then you come to Latin America, and it's like it's like
yeah, it's just like it's just like loud.
mm-hmm.
It's Latin America, it's absolutely the loudest crowds I've ever performed for. It's
Wow.
crazy. It's amazing, and it's so, I actually I honestly I wasn't aware how much you know the energy from the audience impacts the performance before it, of course, it's nuanced and you had a notion for it, but it was so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really a thing of its own. So
Yeah.
very much looking forward to coming back, and also the the culture, the food, everything. We're quite a lot of foodies in the traveling party, and having all kinds of spicy food and
You love spicy food?
learn. Yeah, or not anything extreme, but I like. I'll taste anything.
Ah, okay, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, beware in Mexico and Colombia. Yeah, well, Colombia is not that spicy, but yeah, maybe
Mm.
in other countries you can be like really amazed about
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you can find there. Well, I would like to talk about your beginnings as a musician. Um, how did you start in this metal scene,
Um,
and why?
very very gradually, because I think uh, since I can remember, I've always shown an interest in music. It's like I never really had any other interests. Of course, I was doing football or like just as a small kid, but I started playing piano when I was like 6, taking lessons and everything, and having my electric organ, and when I got my first guitar when I was 10, playing rock music. And quite early on, like 11 or something, I was making demos. I had this 4-track cassette recorder where I could overdub stuff, and I had this electric organ where I could play the bass with my feet and do like
Hmm.
jam sessions with myself. So I just can't not I can't remember not being into music. And then gradually going from Twisted Sister, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Dio, all of these, and then venturing into joining young bands. I was 13 when I joined the first band with Samos, who
Mm.
became my partner in Emperor, of course, and we also went the grades. The first band we had was like a traditional metal band. Then that kind of evolved with some other members into some more trash stuff, and then entered into death metal, like with Morbid Angel and Side, and then eventually it kind of evolved into black metal when we discovered, Bathory and Celtic Frost and more of the underground stuff. So very gradually, like just an extension and wanting to, finding an interest, finding something that resonates, and then can I find more that pushes it even further.
Mhm. Yeah, and now you're considered one of the most important and influential black metal bands ever. How do you feel with that?
I think it's kind of humbling in
Hmm.
a way, but then again, I try not to think about it that much because I apart from family, I'm not really that nostalgic, and of course with some music, but I think it, I was I was still so young when we quit Emperor. I was only 25 when we were finished, uh, so and it, for me that was like it was only the first 10 years,
Hmm.
and then I we did Piccatum and other things like for 5 years. Now I've been doing my solo records for almost 20 years,
Yeah.
but it's really I what can I say? I feel very very fortunate and lucky to have been part of a band and something that gave me opportunity to dedicate my life to like a full-time musician, and
Hmm.
to my passion for writing and producing music and recording albums and everything. And all in on top of that, I could leave that behind with the integrity intact, with no compromise, and then still, you know, uh, follow that trajectory of creativity into my solo work, and you know, to still be here, still, you know, getting both to play with Emperor around the world, but also to release my own records and tour with my own band, and yeah, to have a life in music in general,
Mm-hmm.
and to have, most people don't even get one chance. I feel I've been getting, several
Yes.
opportunities, and the only way I can kind of appreciate and honor that privilege is to just try to stick with a philosophy where I still try to make my things as uncompromising and truthful as I can, and to the best of my ability, and to keep myself as excited about making music as when I first started out.
Yeah. Well, Isan, I read some interviews like from years ago of you, and you said one time that making new music with Emperor would be a lose-lose situation. You're still thinking the same?
Yes, I do. Um, and I mean, if I had a dime, as they say, for every time people ask me, will there be another Emperor album? Uh, and in the beginning, I was like, it felt maybe a bit annoying,
Mm-hmm.
but I've chosen to see it more as, of course, in that kind of question, there's a compliment that people like myself, who have a relationship to music from their youth, or something that you attach to. Obviously, it was important for someone, which is a
Mm-hmm.
great thing. And the question for another album is that they want to feel that again.
Yeah.
They want to feel more of that, which is also great. But then, in practical terms, what kind of album, Emperor album, could we make that would satisfy that, desire? You know, I think it would be easy, ish, to make something that sounds like early Emperor,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but who would want a black metal album made to make money off some kind of conceptualized idea for some kind of demand in the market? That goes against everything that the music is about
Mm-hmm.
in some sense. And if the other way would, I mean, we ended up in a place where I wrote more and more of the music, and with the last Emperor album, I did everything. And then if we followed that trajectory, it's very close to how I make my music today.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what people mean. So and so it's like, do you want this kind of metal? Well, this is kind of what I do already. If you want me to try to go backwards and try to be a teenager again and create, like unlearn any experience I've had as a musician, and like us going to back and
Not
trying
that.
to be, you see how this is
Yeah.
quite impossible.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
for unless the planets align in a way so that me and Samos, just really connect over a common idea that we really want to make, I really don't see that happening. And also, then again, name me one band who was like broke up and then did like a reunion record where
uh,
people like, fuck, this is amazing. This is even better than the old stuff. You know, it doesn't really happen because
no.
it's impossible, because you can't compete with nostalgia.
Yeah.
And also it's a risk because I would just say that uh, the culture and the atmosphere in the band and the traveling crew that we have with Emperor is probably better than it's been ever.
Mm-hmm.
And we have such a great time doing what we do. We love playing the old songs. It's not like we go there, these old songs. It's not maybe always that fun to rehearse like I'm the Black Wizards, but performing I'm the Black Wizards live is never boring.
Yeah.
You know, and we really make sure we enjoy it. And really put ourselves out there 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really see any reason to kind of tilt and risk destroying that uh, for what could possibly be like reasons that are not compatible with the uncompromising nature of what emperor was, and hopefully the tradition, that uncompromising attitude probably was what got us here in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it make sense?
Yeah, no, it does a lot. Yeah, no, I was really into your answer. I was like, wow, yeah, he's got a point. Yeah. Well, we're actually running out of time, so I'm gonna shorten this. I got a like 30 questions for you, but well, what can Ecuadorian fans expect from your debut on the country?
I think in our experience from playing quite a few rounds of shows around the world now, I think we've come to you always get a notion of what songs people expect to hear.
Hmm.
And in particular, of course, we want to try to change it up in territories where we've been playing several times. But for Ecuador, I'm sure we will put together a set where uh, hopefully that will be satisfactory to expectations, and there are some songs that will always be in there. I think that people expect to hear and want to hear, and uh, yeah, then a variety of everything will bring in the whole emperor package, hopefully.
Well, Ihsahn, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Well, I'm stopping the.
Likewise, thank you so much for the support.
Yeah.